In the grand parlor, you can find a piano that has crashed through the ceiling. And this is a reference to the original game. The first quest, basically, that you get as a player is that you're told there's a piano in the attic, and you should go and investigate it. And so early on in our game as well, the idea would be that you get this very same quest. But as you have to pass the grand parlor, we thought it would be fun to find the piano having sort of crashed through the ceiling and made a whole mess, because kind of saying this is sort of what the original, this game is sort of like the original, but not quite.
It was very fun to see the piano that went down from the attic to the ground. Yep, in the first game, the piano was here more to find a reason for the player to go upstairs more than anything else.
Ah, here we go. Ugh. There's more of that unsettling rot.
On the commonplace of evil, there lies virtue and stark irreverence, careless thoughts of luminous indifference. But blame not the beast we once were, which science so often wished to refer. Not the wicked full of sin, it is you who stand and grin. All our good intentions aside, whereupon we build our pride. Sunless solitude, follow not this corrupting light. Prophets of confidence always crashes out of sight. Hear me, for we all bear this mark. Thus we must remain alone in the dark.
The significance of the constellation of Taurus may seem a bit opaque, but in my mind it all comes down to another symbol for the good and the evil within Jeremy, and in turn all of us. There are two things we find in that constellation that is of interest to us. First, the star Aldebaran. We often just call it the sun, which is a representation of Nyarlathotep and the presence of the Dark Man. In the same constellation we also find the Pleiades, which is said to house the great library of Celano, which in our game is called Taroea. So, all in all, in this cosmic bowl we find darkness in the Aldebaran and the light in Celano. Or in the terms of our game, in this celestial creature we find the Dark Man as well as Juan, the ultimate enemy and the ultimate ally as manifested by Jeremy. Finally, of course, what is a star constellation, if not an effort to establish order out of the chaos that is nature, which is why the final puzzle of the game is rebuilding the constellation of Taurus.
What's that stain? Looks like some kind of rot.
We were quite lucky. At this time, a lot of new technology arrived, like the Sound Blaster card that allows us to put sample in the game. So Philippe, the musician, had to make all the sounds in the game with its mics to try to make the game feel realistic. The original game was set in 1920 because this is a very convenient time. Everything looks familiar, houses, furnitures, but there is no technology which can mess up a lot of things in the gameplay. So this was very convenient.
Was this dream of Tarawea without a catch? A
You should not have come, Emily.
How do you know my name? Have we met?
In a manner of speaking. As a manifestation of Yermi's deepest desires, I am to you unfamiliar. Yet I know of you.
Are you Jeremy? Is that what you're saying?
I am only his subconscious thoughts. I cannot speak for his totality.
How come you have a Spanish accent? And what is this place? Is this Tarawea?
This is indeed the fabled convent of Tarawea, where Yermi goes to find peace during his sessions with Dr. Gray,
It's all fantasy then.
based on the things he has read and seen.
And that includes you.
Yes. My name is Juan Luis Jorge. Yermi once read a book of mine. It stuck with him.
Can you help me break the pact with the Dark Man so we can leave Derceto?
Yermi doesn't want you to. He wants to honor his word to the Dark Man.
Why? What's the point? I don't understand what the pact is for.
The people of Derceto are calling upon evil to enter this world. Your uncle offered his soul to the Dark Man to contain this disaster.
What? No, that doesn't make any sense.
The pact will be fulfilled at dawn. As the sun rises, Yermi will forever be entombed in his sunken desert temple. As promised, the Dark Man shall quarantine and starve the evil inside Derceto.
What about all the patients and the staff?
They will not stand a chance.
That's unacceptable. How could Jeremy agree to this?
Desperation, of course. Yermi did not choose martyrdom lightly.
Well, nothing is lost yet. I'm sure I can find a way to break the pact and save Jeremy. And hopefully the people at Derceto. What even is this evil you're talking about?
I don't know much. I think some nightmarish entity from the bayou.
I'll just have to deal with that later. First, I have to get Jeremy out of his deal. What? Did you run out of arguments?
You're actually quite inspiring, Miss Emily. If we put Yermi's feelings aside, I would have to say I agree with you.
Really?
You might just be able to save the old man from himself. I think you should take a look in the convent library. Try to find the truth about Yermi's relationship with the Dark Man.
Okay.
You should know that you won't be alone in those grand halls. The Dark Man has been reading those books for years.
He's here?
You'll have to be very careful.
Of course. I can be careful.
Good luck, Miss Emily.
Juan is probably the only nice person or truly nice person you find in the whole game. He has no ill intentions, or does he think badly of anyone or judge anyone. Mostly because he's made up. He is a manifestation of Jeremy's sort of ultimate friend. The way we wanted to show this sort of kindness and calm was by putting him in this sort of heavenly space, this very warm and nice place. He has his cozy clothes on, But of course, to show his wisdom, he also sits under a Bodhi tree, which many of you probably know is what the Buddha is said to have sat under when he reached enlightenment.
For Terrea, we wanted to portray a very calm and kind of heavenly mood. So we went for this really nice midday
there's
or
something
a bit later. And we also decided to have these church windows that would help spreading the light and the thick atmosphere, so we get very dense air inside of the library, and I think it turned out really great.
The great library was endless, beautiful, and terrible. An Akashic record for the universe.
Hope you enjoy it as well.
It was in the hot autumn that I went through the night with the restless crowds. He was a kind of itinerant showman who held forth in public halls and aroused widespread fear. The New Orleans address of the event is lost, but I remember distinctly the Prext Shipping Company pressing their contribution.
Emily!
Please, no.
I hope you found what you were looking for, Emily. I fear there is no going back.
He's in my head, Juan. His breath replacing mine.
You should not have come, Emily.
Well, if it isn't my new best friend. Come, join me for some giggle water.
Ruth?
Oh, Miss Hartwood, don't tell me you've been out swinging without me.
Ruth, what is this place? Where are we?
Have you never been to the Maccabean before? Goodness me. Tell me, Miss Hartwood, have you ever considered going out for an evening?
Are we in New Orleans?
Oh, who can tell anymore? I just went inside the grand parlor and suddenly here I am.
The Grand Parlor? Can I get back to Derceto from here?
Are you sure you want to? We could stay here and drink the night away. How about a gin fizz?
If this is New Orleans, maybe I should go further. Find that magic show the book was talking about. But there was no address, just Prext Shipping Company.
Oh, is this about where Jeremy met the Dark Man?
How do you know about that?
Jeremy talked a lot about the Dark Man. I always felt a bit envious.
How so?
If an all-powerful entity showed me any interest, I'd at least hear him out. I'm sure he has plenty to offer.
I don't think you'd want that, Ruth. You're too sweet for such darkness.
Oh, please. What kind of blue nose do you take me for? I relish the darkness. I think it suits me.
You don't happen to know how to find the Prext Shipping Company, do you?
Of course. Their office is just over there.
Whoa, what happened?
You just got lucky. A bientôt, Mademoiselle Emily.
Hey, do you know where my uncle is?
No, but I bet you're close.
It was in the hot autumn that I went through the night with the restless crowds to witness the enigmatic Black Pharaoh. He was a kind of itinerant showman who held forth in public halls and aroused widespread fear wherever he performed. It was the sort of thrills my father sought out, especially if there was a promise of electrical trickery. The Nolan's address of the event is lost, but I remember distinctly the Prext Shipping Company pressing their contribution in the morning papers. There were rumors of an Egyptian sarcophagus being a part of the act, something which kept me wondering how they had carried that up the seemingly endless stairs. The details of the showman's performance have almost been entirely replaced by dread, the kind that numbs and hides the terror of something unbearable. What is certain is that ever since that night, I can't remember a single day passing without seeing or sensing the presence of a dark man.
Craig's Shipping Company. According to the book in the Great Library, they assisted a showman performing somewhere in New Orleans. It's somehow connected to Jeremy's introduction to the Dark Man. I'm sure I can find the address inside. What's this? There's a way through the sewers. where to go. I'm out of bullets! There's gotta be another way inside. Maybe I can move all that junk out of the way with the crane. Yeah. All right. I made it inside the warehouse. Now let's find that address. This is getting ridiculous. I mean, I'm not complaining.
Our ship was raided while in dock. All of his things were recovered, but blood was shed.
The original game was often called the game without enough bullets, but it was not a wish, it was more a consequence. The player usually feels strong with weapons, but I wanted him to understand that it is not the right solution and that he needs to find some clues which are more efficient.
Having a limited amount of bullets is something we certainly picked up on. But you know, sometimes you just want to give the player a Tommy gun and see what happens.
Gargo Manifesto, September 19th, 1892. Breck Shipping Company delivered forced...
This is it. The address to the theater where Jeremy first met the Dark Man.
The original game was often called the game without enough bullets, but it was not a wish, it was more a consequence. The player usually feels strong with weapons, but I wanted him to understand that it is not the right solution and that he needs to find some clues which are more efficient.
Having a limited amount of bullets is something we certainly picked up on. But you know, sometimes you just want to give the player a Tommy gun and see what happens.
Looks like the fog cleared up.
Gallatin Street is in direct contrast to the French Quarter level. In the French Quarter we had a lot of colors, nice materials, beautiful architecture and that kind of stuff. We went with a much more worn down look to the buildings. We have almost a desaturated overall mood, and you can almost taste the melancholy.
You shouldn't have come.
Don't say that. You needed my help.
All I wanted was to keep people away from Desetto. Especially you, Emily. You're the only one in the family who forgave me for choosing old age over death.
Father still cares for you? He is paying for your treatment at Derceto.
To get rid of me! That's the only reason anyone's at Desetto. Someone in the family thought you were becoming an embarrassment.
Help me get you out of this mess, Jeremy. I want to take you away.
Your father would send me right back.
What if I take you up north, to Kingsport? I know Mother still has family up there. I've been thinking about going for a while now.
I haven't been to Massachusetts in years. I still paint from memory, you know? That old lighthouse makes for a great motif. Your father and I would go almost every summer. Then when our great-uncle died, we stopped going back.
What is there to be done about the Dark Man? He's the one holding you back, right? You feel like you can't leave without paying your debt to him.
The Dark Man has been with me since I was 12 years old. He was standing right on that stage right over there. For a brief moment, his gaze held mine. And that was it. I recognized him for what he was. The Heartwood curse embodied in flesh. I thought it was my turn, but I was only there to be mocked. Instead, his attention moved on to my father sitting next to me. I turned to him and saw his face. The whitest shade of pale I've ever seen. He bit off his tongue that night and suffocated.
What can be done, Jeremy? Please.
There's a way. 2 ways to be exact. One worse than the other. A written contract now buried inside his sunken temple.
Don't you remember what it said?
I don't want to.
Try, Jeremy. What did the contract say?
No, we can't. We can't let New Orleans suffer that blight. I have to make this sacrifice.
What are you talking about? Is this the thing from the bayou? Juan said something. Okay, so there is a way to break the pact at least. Hidden somewhere inside the Dark Man's temple.
For the showroom, we can talk about a few things. The first would be the theater-like scene. We wanted to portray or picture a real theater scene, so it isn't built in a factory. It should look pretty fake. And we also have the color scheme, which is inspired by the Dark Man. And the last reference we have the fresque in the background, which is depicting the dark sun from the next level. So that's a pretty nice foreshadow, I think. Arriving from the showroom through the sarcophagus, we knew we wanted to show the player a very grand and epic vista, and we added this small plateau as an overlook, and as you can see it's a really vast and epic desert we have here, and the dark sun creating the long shadows and the twinkling speculars in the sand is, to me, it's a very nice view.
I need to get down there somehow.
The desert level is sprung out of the text from Jeremy's diary in the original game, where he writes, while describing a dream, "The night is pitch black, I am again drenched in sweat. I was wandering in dunes among giant standing stones." It is one of the two other worlds that show extremes. Most of the scenery we've seen so far, except for a brief visit to Taroea, everything has been taking place in New Orleans or Louisiana. But here we are in the desert, ready to descend into the Dark Man's sunken temple, and we are introduced to the story of the pharaoh Neferenka.
The temple of Neferenka lies under our camp. Despite all efforts, that unholy site did not collapse, but sink beneath the sand. The pharaoh is long dead, his name meticulously stricken from all ancient writing. But that stage meant for blood and terror remains. The temple is said to be lightless, built to harbor all the haunters of the dark found.
Okay, you can do this, Emily. constellation Taurus. I've seen this in a dream, but as a shallow pit of darkness. This is definitely where the contract is hidden, but how do I get to it? I don't have any bullets left.
For the temple, we explored, or actually we went with having tilted walls, so they would be narrower up top, to create some kind of tension for the player, as well as it's a pretty nice symbolic design choice, because the shape of a pyramid as well. But we also have the large walls, which we filled with hieroglyphs inspired by the ancient Egyptians, and a direct reference to the Darkman is the painted stone patina as well.
There's something missing. I think this one moves. It worked.
If you look at the statue of the Dark Man across the room, you can see his one hand making the gesture that Ruth makes when meeting Carnaby in the Maccabean. But most importantly, we find the same sign on the painting of Emily if you manage to unlock her cult ending. Of course, Emily then makes the same submission gesture to the Dark Man to join his fold, and that's how you trigger her cult ending. The sign is actually described in the original game in the text called Demonia Particularis, Signs and Rituals by Heinrich Kassel. And Yeah, I remember as soon as I sort of read that, I was like, we're totally making something out of that.
What's happening? Acknowledge psychological trauma, break through the barriers of self-deceit, temper manic behavior. Is this it? Is this the contract? Oh, Jeremy. How much pain and suffering you could have prevented.
Emily? What are you doing?
Detective, how is your investigation going?
Well, I still have no clue where Jeremy is, but I think I know why he's hiding. This place is full of lunatics planning to perform some kind of ritual tonight.
Well, that sounds ridiculous. Or rather would have just a day ago.
It gets worse. I have reason to believe they killed anyone who didn't want to go along with the plan.
Detective, have you encountered any monsters tonight?
I just told you, I think they killed people. Beauregard, the author, Perosi, the singer, Mr. Waits, the clerk, Mr. Chance, the gardener, they're all missing.
No, I mean, have you fired your gun tonight?
Of course not. They wouldn't just kill outsiders like that. It would bring too much attention. But you should keep your eyes open.
So you haven't seen anything strange? Been anywhere else?
What are you trying to tell me, Emily? Are you in some kind of danger? Let me drive you back to New Orleans. I think I have enough. You know, at least get the police to take a look at this case.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Detective.
I'll find your uncle, Miss Harwood. Just stay out of trouble.